Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 79 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. This month is October, and it is amazing because the colors are changing in all the leaves in the Northeast, and you're starting to really sense this withdrawal of life in a way, this idea of things becoming quiet as we head into fall, as we drop into the sense of winter. And I've been spending this month really working within, and with that has come a lot of content around this idea of purpose, this idea of what are we here to do, why are we here to do it. And one of the things that has come up is this idea of this question: why is it easier for you to see other people's purposes than it is to see your own? And I received this question recently from one of the participants in the Spiritual Achiever Leadership Coaching program that I run. And I wanted to answer it here because it highlights this really important aspect about purpose that can help you as you search to discover your own. So this ability of us to identify purpose comes with our own ability to think clearly, to think cleanly about our life. And most of us go through our lives without that kind of clarity. We're fixated instead on getting things done, getting things out of the way. We are checking that proverbial to-do list in our lives, whether it is the small tasks that we do on a daily basis, or it is the larger ones like get this job, go on a trip. And when we operate in this very human realm, which we do, using all our physical senses, the things we can see and hear and touch and hold, and we also use our survival instincts, we're just usually focused only on staying alive and out of discomfort. And how does this look like in your own life? How does this play out? Well, staying alive looks like having shelter, looks like having a home, looks like having stability, money, food, resources. Staying out of discomfort can look like seeking enjoyment and avoiding things that we fear or that we don't like. And this all seems fairly obvious. Why wouldn't you want to seek enjoyment out of life? Why wouldn't you want to avoid things that you don't like? Why wouldn't you want to stay alive? And of course we want all these things, yet the reason we're talking about purpose is that it isn't found within these day-to-day activities in this way. Yet, when you don't have a purpose, your day-to-day activities are just that, and your life flashes on by. And what happens is you have this sense of discomfort of thinking, life is passing, time is moving, and I don't know if anything meaningful is in each of those moments. So purpose isn't found in that day-to-day activities, in that way of getting it done. Because if it was, you wouldn't be asking yourself, well, what is my purpose in life? Or what do I want my purpose to be in my work or in my relationships? And instead, you'd be saying that my purpose is to stay alive and to avoid discomfort. But you're not saying those things. You're looking instead for this purpose that allows you to evolve, or seeking this higher point of view. And purpose can be found in the daily experiences that we have in life if we can see how we grow and evolve through them. Yet, we're often so entrenched in living our lives, caught up in the stress, the likes, the dislikes, trying to get things done, that we miss our own growth and we miss our evolution. We miss the patterns that we play out time and time again, and we miss the opportunities to see where that road less traveled could take us. And instead, We keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again in the same ways we've always done. Yet when you're not in your own life, it's so much easier to see what's needed and what's helpful, isn't it? It's so much easier for us to see opportunities, struggles, and all of those patterns in someone else. And this is why it's easier for you to see someone else's purpose. You aren't caught up in their stories. There's no entanglement. There's no emotion. It's not like it affects you. It's not personal. It is not personal. There's no history. There's no past to let go of. There's nothing to resolve. There is only this bird's eye view. There's only this super conscious view of the situation. And in that type of clarity, where it is not personal, not about how you will be affected by it, it is much easier to see what is true. And to be able to do that for yourself in all of the daily moments of our life requires that ability to step out of your own daily life, to see it for what it is, the semblance of events that are strung together, no good or bad energies to anything, just what is, this neutral understanding of what truly is life. Life is happening, events unfolding, the world changing before your eyes. And if you were to look at your own life like it was this movie reel that didn't involve you, but someone else that looked like you, and maybe this movie had your name in it and that person had your name, it would be much easier to step into that type of clarity that I'm describing right now. And this is why things in hindsight are easier to understand. We see the entire story. We understand what happened. And in this moment, you can see a story emerging. If you take a moment to give yourself some space, to take a step back and look at yourself from outside in, from a different perspective. And this is one of the reasons why I like to guide clients through meditations and visualizations. It allows us to drop into that super conscious perspective that has more wisdom and it has more insight than our very human survivalist selves. And when you become that observer, you step into what is known as the seat of the soul, that part of ourselves where there is no suffering, the part of ourselves that is not in pain, that is not caught up in the day-to-day, and that part of ourselves that is witness without judgment of all the events unfolding in our lives. And we often go there, and we get there through meditation and in stillness or in nature or by being in flow when we're lost in the moment to the outside world. It's when time seems to stand still and we experience life in this way that doesn't involve my personal likes or dislikes, but it does involve acceptance of all that is around you. You might have experienced this when you interrupted the automatic behaviors of your life through some kind of external event like loss or grief or the breakdown of the external world in some way. You might have experienced this when you're in your work or in a creative pursuit. And in those moments, there is no me, there's no I, there's no personal self. There's just a being without separation. You feel connected. When we are within ourselves looking out at that world from a sense of me, myself, and I, we are a separate thing from that universal wisdom where purpose actually arrives from. And you are in that microcosm, whereas purpose is in the macrocosm. And in that macrocosm, it answers questions like, what am I here to learn? Or why am I here? Or who am I? And this overarching purpose that can guide your life may be this one. You can take this one for your own. Understanding how to accept all that is happening in your life and allow it to evolve in a direction that is not controlled by you, but it does evolve you, and it allows you to cultivate a sense of curiosity, of meaning, of surrender. It counteracts our very nature to fix and do, yet it is even more powerful because it understands why we try to do, why we try to fix. And when this happens, you lessen that need to organize, to control, and you open yourself up to allow yourself to engage. And this is what I teach when I teach spiritual achievement. It is this idea of how do we do things in a new and different way than what we've always done them in. And so it's not about not taking action. It's not about not engaging in life. It's not about not having an idea of the life that we want to experience or that we have no goals anymore, no intentions about anything. And that's what we teach. And that's where we go a lot deeper into that process of what does it look like to actually operate from this world? And what are the steps that we take and the how and the things you could do? And what does it look like to your tangible real life situation? But we don't have time to get into all this now. And so what I'll leave you here with this is this idea of engagement. Engagement in life is that co-creative activity. It's when we move out of this idea that our human selves have all of the answers. We decide instead to see what happens. What happens when we work with energy that's not ours? What happens when we work with energy that's not ours but belongs to a greater whole, that belongs to this consciousness that connects all things? And if you find it easier to see that for others than for yourself, it is okay. You're experiencing consciousness all the same, just through an example of someone else that you think is separate from you but is really you. And if you want to find it for yourself, allow yourself to just shine your light just long enough on you from outside of you. And perhaps you'll see that your purpose was always there. It was just waiting to be seen from that which is not you. All right, my friends, if this topic resonates with you, if you want to see transformational results, if you want to dig into this idea of how your self-concept, of how your self-image, of how that striving interacts with your day-to-day and drives so much of our personal stresses and behaviors, you will love coaching. Getting coached consistently is that spark that will light the fire of inspiration to make the change you're looking to make. And it is that first step in creating clarity, making that massive shift, and moving obstacles out of your way so that you can move forward. And you can go to www.mayemson.com/contact to learn more. That's it, my friends, for this week. I hope you have an amazing one, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.